Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Leap Beyond Grammar podcast, your absolute go-to English podcast for real conversations, learning everyday English, and honestly, improving your daily life. I'm Jess. I have my absolute biggest mug of dark roast coffee in my hand, and I am so ready to dive in today.
Hey everyone, I'm Jack. And while I don't have a giant coffee, I do have a big glass of water, my microphone is ready, and I am feeling super energized for today's topic. How are you doing today, Jess? Are you heavily caffeinated and ready to change some lives?
You know I am. The coffee is definitely helping. But I have to admit, I had a very deep moment yesterday. I just sat down on my couch, looked out the window, and I thought, why does it feel like some people can completely turn their lives around while other people just stay stuck in the exact same place for years?
Oh wow, that is a deep thought for a Tuesday afternoon, but I have absolutely had that exact same thought. You look at someone, maybe a friend or someone online, and they go from struggling to incredibly successful, and you just sit there and wonder, what is their big secret?
Exactly. You wonder, are they just magically lucky? Or is there some hidden manual to life that they are reading and we are not?
Right. And then I started thinking about language learning, because when I first started learning another language, it felt completely impossible. There were so many thousands of words, so many complex rules, and I felt totally stuck.
But then something changed, right?
Yes, little by little things just started making sense. At first, I kept thinking, if I just memorize the entire dictionary, I'll be fluent. But I was so wrong. It wasn't just about raw vocabulary. It was about building tiny habits, changing my mindset, and actually speaking out loud.
And that is when it hit me, Jack. Life is the exact same way. Massive, life-altering transformations do not happen overnight. It is never just one huge, dramatic decision. It is about the tiny little choices we make every single day.
Which brings us to our topic today. We're talking about exactly how to change your life, step by step.
But before we jump into the deep end, we have a very special gift for you all. We have created a completely free PDF workbook for today's episode.
Yes, it is packed with practical exercises to help you take real steps forward. It includes the key takeaways from our talk, comprehension questions to test your listening, and of course, some great English exercises to build your confidence. You can find the link right in the description below.
And stick around until the end of the episode, because later on we are going to do a special chunking breakdown. We will review some of the intermediate English phrases we use today and show you exactly how to use them in real life.
All right, Jess, thinking about what we just said, how life changes little by little, it makes me wonder why so many people struggle to make those changes in the first place.
That is the golden question. Change sounds exciting, doesn't it? A fresh start, a new beginning. But here is the painful truth. Most people never actually make those changes.
Why? Because change is genuinely uncomfortable. Let's talk about the most common reasons people feel frozen and stuck.
I'll start with the biggest one. Fear of failure. So many of our students ask me, Jess, what if I try to speak English at work and I fail? What if I look silly?
Oh, I know that fear so well, but my answer is always, what if you try and you actually succeed? Every single successful person on this planet has failed 100 times. The only difference is they didn't stop.
Exactly. The second massive reason people stay stuck is a lack of direction. They know they want a better job, or a healthier life, or fluent English, but they don't know exactly where to take the very first step.
Yes, and this leads to the perfect plan trap. They think they need a flawless, perfect plan before taking any action. I did this with cleaning out my garage. I spent 3 weeks researching the perfect storage boxes, watching videos about organization, and making detailed lists. And guess what? My garage is still a total mess.
Oh, Jack, we have all been there. And while you are waiting for the perfect plan, the negative self-talk creeps in. You start telling yourself, I'll never be good at this, or I'm just naturally bad at learning languages.
Those thoughts are toxic. They stop your progress before your journey even begins. Jess, and that brings us to the final trap, waiting for motivation. People always say, I'll start studying when I feel motivated. I'll wait until I feel ready. Let me tell you a secret, everyone. Motivation comes after action. It does not come before. You do the action first, and then the motivation shows up.
Exactly. Progress comes way before confidence.
So, Jess, Now that we know what holds people back, the next big question is, how do we actually start making these life changes?
That is where small daily improvements come in to save the day. People watch movies and think they need a dramatic overnight transformation. But real, lasting change happens gradually. It happens quietly in the background.
Have you ever heard of the 1% rule?
Yes, it is one of my favorite concepts. If you improve just 1% every single day by the end of the year, you will be 37 times better.
Wait, 37 times? That math sounds crazy, but it is true, because those tiny 1% efforts compound over time. It is exactly like earning compound interest in a bank account.
Exactly, and this ties directly into the power of our daily habits. James Clear talks about this brilliantly in his book Atomic Habits. He says that our habits actually shape our identity.
Right. If you practice English for just 5 minutes a day, every single day, you stop being someone who wants to learn English. You become an English speaker. It redefines who you are.
Yes. Let me use myself as an example. Before this podcast, I wanted to be someone who drinks more water, but I always forgot. So I tied it to something I already do every day. Now, every time I go to the kitchen to pour a cup of coffee, I force myself to drink 1 glass of water first. No water, no coffee.
That is brilliant. You used your coffee habit to build a new healthy habit.
Exactly, and I know a student who became incredibly fluent just by listening to a short English podcast every morning on his train ride. He didn't have a crazy, intense 5-hour study plan. He just took consistent, small steps.
That is so inspiring. So if you are listening right now and you are wondering where to start, don't try to change your whole life today. Just pick one small 5-minute habit.
Now, while taking small actions is important, there is something even deeper underneath all of this. Our mindset.
Oh, absolutely. How we think about change is the foundation of everything. There is a massive difference between a growth mindset and a fixed mindset.
Right. A growth mindset says, I am struggling right now, but I can improve. A fixed mindset says, I made a mistake speaking English, I am just stupid.
And here's something fascinating about the human brain. Our brain is physically wired to focus on whatever we train it to notice. Have you ever heard of the reticular activating system, the RAS?
I have. But can you explain it simply for our listeners?
Sure. Imagine you decide to buy a blue car. You think about blue cars, you look up blue cars online. Suddenly, when you drive down the street, what do you see everywhere?
Blue cars. They are suddenly at every stoplight and in every parking lot.
Exactly. Did 1,000 blue cars suddenly appear in your city overnight? No, they were always there. But your brain naturally filters out millions of pieces of information. It only shows you what you tell it is important.
Oh, that makes so much sense. So, if you constantly tell yourself, I am terrible at English, I can't do this, your RAS will go out and find evidence to prove you are right. You will only notice your mistakes.
That is terrifying, but so true. But the good news is, you can flip it. If you wake up and say, I am improving every single day, your brain will actively search for your progress. It will point out your successes.
That is why reprogramming your mind is so incredibly powerful. 3 great ways to do that are affirmations, visualization, and gratitude.
Right. Positive self-talk like I am getting better every day helps reshape your thoughts. Visualization, actually seeing yourself speaking fluently in a meeting, tricks your brain into believing it's possible.
And don't forget gratitude. When you focus on what is going well, you train your brain to see opportunities instead of just obstacles.
So true. Now that we've talked about mindset, there's something else that holds people back, waiting for the perfect moment to start.
Yes, so many people believe that they need to be completely ready before they speak. But here's the absolute truth. You will never feel fully ready.
Exactly. Progress comes before confidence. When I was learning my second language, I hesitated to start speaking because I felt like I wasn't ready. I kept thinking, what if I used the wrong verb tense? But the longer I waited, the harder and scarier it became.
That is so relatable. But when you finally took that first step, Jack, what happened?
Well, once I started speaking, I realized that making mistakes was actually part of the learning process. Each conversation, even the messy ones with lots of errors, built my confidence. I wasn't perfect, but I was improving.
And that's the key. There's a concept I absolutely love. Done is better than perfect.
Oh, I like that. Too many people delay action because they want everything to be just right. But in reality, imperfect action is always better than no action.
Right, and you don't have to do it alone. Your environment plays a massive role in this. There is a very famous saying, you are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with.
If you are constantly surrounded by negative people, people who complain and have no goals, it is going to be incredibly hard to stay motivated.
But if you surround yourself with positive driven people, their energy naturally rubs off on you.
So, look around you. Who are your 5 people? If you don't have positive people near you physically, find them online. Join an English learning community, follow inspiring creators, curate your digital environment to protect your mindset.
Wow, that was a lot of powerful stuff. And as promised, before we wrap up, it is time for our chunking breakdown.
Yes, we used some fantastic intermediate English phrases today. Let's break them down into chunks so you can start using them in your own conversations immediately.
Let's start with the phrase, turn your life around. I said earlier, why can some people turn their lives around?
Turn your life around is a great chunk. It means to make a major positive change in your life, usually going from a bad situation to a very good one. For example, he used to be so lazy, but he got a new job and completely turned his life around.
Perfect. Our next chunk is holding you back. I said understanding what is holding you back is the first step.
To hold someone back means to prevent them from moving forward or succeeding. It is like an invisible rope pulling you backward. For example, her fear of making mistakes is holding her back from speaking fluently.
That is a very accurate example for our listeners. Okay, next one. You said everything started falling into place. Falling into place.
Ah, yes. When things fall into place, it means a complicated situation finally becomes organized or things finally start working out successfully. Like puzzle pieces finally fitting together perfectly. For example, once I started studying for just 10 minutes a day, my English skills really started falling into place.
Beautiful. And our last chunk for today, rub off on you, I said. Their positive energy will rub off on you.
To rub off on someone means that a quality, a habit, or an attitude transfers from one person to another. If you hang around someone who laughs a lot, their happiness rubs off on you. For example, Jess's extreme love for coffee is really starting to rub off on me.
Hey, I will take that as a huge compliment. Those are 4 amazing chunks. Remember, do not break them apart to analyze the grammar. Just learn the whole phrase and practice saying it out loud.
Alright, we have covered so much ground today. If we had to leave our listeners with one single key takeaway, Jess, what would it be?
I would say this. You have so much more control over your life than you realize. You do not need to be perfect. You just need small changes, a growth mindset, and the courage to take imperfect action today.
I love that. Small, consistent actions over time create massive change.
Exactly. And please do not forget to grab our completely free PDF guide for today's episode. The link is right below. It is packed with exercises to help you review everything we talked about.
We also have a quick challenge for you. Go down to the comments section right now and tell us, what is one small change, just a tiny 1% habit that you are going to start today? We read every single comment and we would love to hear from you.
If you enjoyed this episode, please hit that subscribe button, share this video with a friend who needs some motivation, and leave us a like. It really helps the channel grow.
Let's keep growing, keep learning, and keep leaping forward together. Thank you all so much for listening.
I'm going to go get a coffee refill. See you next time on the Leap Beyond Grammar. Bye, everyone.
Bye for now. Take care.